What's going on, Dunces family? We are back with another episode. It's been a while. I won't lie to you. It's been 3 months. Last time we talked basketball was the Knicks. I think after that everything was going to go downhill. So don't blame me for that. It was because we talked about the Knicks. But we are back officially, kind of. I say we'll be back. Maybe next week we'll post another video.
Once
I
a
don't
year,
know.
baby.
Once a year. We're almost there. I am here with the biggest dunce possible in Isandro. What's up?
What's up?
Ah,
Long time no
dude,
see. I miss
I
your
hate
beautiful
you.
faces that I can't see.
Can you not see us, bro? Well, do you? Well, you do. I don't know. I don't know why you do that. Like you
Do
don't
what?
put us all together, right? Like
I
you
mean,
do it
I'll
by
do it
person
now.
that
I'll
talks.
do it now.
Nah, you don't do it. Nah, I don't want it.
Okay.
Anyway, I am also here, Mr. J. What's up? And finally, we have a guest for our return to YouTube podcasting slash Spotify and all that stuff. Which, by the way, please listen to us on all social media platforms. Joel, what's up, man? Pleasure
What's going
meeting
on,
you.
guys? What's going on? Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you're a good. Well, from what I hear, you're a good friend of Isandro's, of Celtics fan. So that makes us enemies already. But it is what it is.
I'm a
How do you
hoophead. I'm a
how do
hoophead.
you how do you feel about being on this pod, man? Let us know. How do you feel?
It's pretty cool because I have always wanted to just be able to just talk sports like this.
Okay,
Just talking sports. I talk basketball with one other guy. But it's obviously to the side. But to get everybody's perspective, it's gonna be fun.
love that, and that's all we're looking for. Respect. It's for everybody to listen, except me and Sandra do get heated, and I love it because that's the best
Mhm.
content. So shout out to Sports
Even though,
Talks.
yeah, Jay's
Uh,
usually right.
No,
I'll
I
take
was
my
wrong.
L's.
Shout out Kevin Durant. He really proved me wrong. That Kevin Durant, Giannis
Well, that
thing.
was the only one. That one, I mean, but that was,
I don't even want to
that
talk about that
was,
anymore.
yeah, because
But there
it's
was a
fine.
lot
We don't
that
have to talk about that.
we have to unpack, man. There was the play-in tournament that happened. The Cavs didn't make the playoffs. It sucked, but it is what it is. And then in the playoffs, I would have much rather have loved to see the Cavs over the Nets because the Nets got swept. My Nets got
By
swept.
my Boston Celtics. That's not
Okay, well, you know what, Mr. Guest, don't, don't you're you're already making me regret this decision of putting you on. Well, whatever. Let's. So Boston did win in four, very convincing win, and I thought after that, honestly, and I said it to everybody, Boston, this was their championship to win. And we'll get into it a little bit later, but I really thought that Boston had it all. But it is what it is. We'll talk about it in just a few moments. But also, other things happened around the league. The Warriors won their fourth championship, right? Their fourth championship in the past 8 years. That's
Mhm.
insane. That's mad. With the same core, Klay Thompson, Steph, and Draymond Green. What a team. Shout out the Warriors, man. And then other stuff happened. You had some trades. Christian Wood, my boy, the man I love the most. I am so glad that he is out of Houston playing in Dallas alongside Luca. And
That
then
was
we
good.
also got another trade in Jeremy Grant, traded for a first round pick to Portland, which honestly, it was a good trade because in reality, Portland was looking at trading that seventh pick for Jeremy Grant, and they ended up trading a 2025 first. So pretty
That was the
significant
Milwaukee
difference.
Bucks.
Yeah,
That was the Milwaukee Bucks.
it's a good trade that they got, and also coaching changes. Darvin Ham is officially the head coach of the Lakers. Shout out Darvin. Quinn Snyder's gone from Utah, which I think Isandro. Well, I called it a few years back that Utah was trash. And Isandro was
You
like,
were the
no,
only. Well, actually,
they're gonna do something good.
you and
About
Jordan were
blah,
the
blah,
only
blah."
ones that
I
people in the
told you.
comment section were like, "Oh
They
no, you
no,
guys
the
are wrong.
comment section hated us, and I was right.
You guys were
So
right."
screw you, comment section.
No, we need.
And
Okay.
well, yeah, we do. Yeah, shut up the comment section. And finally, what else, man? That's pretty much it. Oh, the draft was today. Yeah, this is being recorded on June 23rd at around 10:30 p.m. So a little bit past my bedtime, but it is what it is. And then we had Paolo going number one. Crazy. I really thought it was going to be Jabari, but yeah, that is what it is. So there's a lot that I just mentioned. But today we specifically want to talk about certain topics. We're going to go into a whole big variety of things. It's not going to be sectioned like it normally is because there's just so much to unpack. But there's a reason why we have Joel here. His Celtics lost, but they at least made it to the finals. First time since '08, with a young core that's definitely bound to be there soon. But Joel, I have a quick question for you, and I want to see a real Boston Celtics fan, because I have some friends that are Boston Celtics fans, but they don't even know half the team.
Mhm.
So, what do you think went wrong in the finals? Is it point guard play? Is it just defense just being discombobulated, just horrible shots being taken? I don't know. You tell me. What do you think was Boston's problem?
So I think a lot of people would always ask me as a Celtics fan, they would constantly ask me like, well, who do you see in free agency that you guys would want? People would always say, oh, you guys going to trade Jaylen Brown? What can you get from Marcus Smart? And I would always say, I think we're good. That's what I would always say. I think we're fine. I think we just develop our guys, and I think we have a chance at winning a championship. I thought we had a lot of talent, and we were deep. I always felt like we were a really deep team. Where we lost was not point guard play. It wasn't, centers. It wasn't any position play like that. We just beat ourselves with the amount of turnovers. It was just this sloppy basketball that almost like we reverted to how we started the season. We started the season very 500. We didn't look good. Probably looked like we were going to get into the play-in based off of talent alone. Just because we had Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the team, we were probably going to make the play-in. But we kind of flipped a switch where we started playing defense and stopped turning the ball over. And then the offense just found itself because we have a player like Tatum, we have a player like Brown.
Right.
So it just kind of found itself. So now we're in the finals. And throughout the entire playoffs, I don't know the exact number, but I think we were averaging around 16-ish turnovers a game.
It was high.
And
it was high.
It was really, really bad. And actually only the Warriors, I think, were worse. But we really played really, really bad in the finals, specifically when it came to turning the ball over. So I honestly think we beat ourselves. I feel like if we played how we did throughout the regular season from January onward, I think we actually beat them pretty badly. Because of our defense, and they're not, and our toughness. The Warriors, they're good defensively because they're smart. They know where to be on the court and they play like a team. We were playing like dummies in the finals. So I just think we beat ourselves. I don't think it was a specific anything really other than the Celtics beat themselves and we cost ourselves a championship.
So based off of what you said, the fact that they beat themselves, do you think, and I'm going to ask you, Sandro, on this one, do you think that it's just experience, that the Warriors have been there before? It just came down to the Warriors knew exactly how to play it? Or could it just be that the Celtics really fumbled the bag? Because, I'll say it, I really thought the Celtics had it. Like, I hate Boston with a passion, man. They have Tatum and Brown that should be on the Nets, but it is what it is. And I really thought that this team had it. But what do you think? Do you think that it was the experience, the fact that they're too young? Like what is your perspective on this, Sandro?
It might have been because they played a much better defense against the Miami Heat and even the Bucks. Well, maybe not much better than the Warriors, but the Miami Heat were the best defense in the league, at least in the playoffs, in my opinion.
Well, they were second. I'm just saying. They were second to Boston. That's fine though.
I'm saying, like, other than Boston, like the best defense that they played.
Yeah.
So the Warriors were not as good defensively as the Heat. And, Jason Tatum had one stinker, but he played good games throughout that series. But then we come against the Warriors, and it's like, yeah, they're still good defensively, but for some reason, Jason Tatum's just not that guy anymore. Jaylen Brown, he did step up, but Jason Tatum just couldn't cope. So to me, I feel like because it wasn't the defense, it had to be like this being his first finals. But then again, like Jaylen Brown, this is his first finals too. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if like we should use it as an excuse, if we should use it as like a measuring stick, like, oh, it's his first finals, whatever. I don't know, like the right way to look at it.
Well, did you guys see the interviews of what they were saying? It's like when you look at Boston, Tatum is sitting in the bleachers, reflecting. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm in the finals. What's Curry doing? He's at home with his wife, or he's in the gym shooting because I've been here before. So while Tatum's really reflecting, he's taking this moment and he's like, I'm in the finals. I got to be Kobe. You see the tweet, you see like all the stuff he's been posting about Kobe and stuff, right, and all the memes about it. It's like he wants to be Kobe, so he's taking that in. I'm in the finals. I finally made it, and I think it was in his head a lot.
That's true. And I think Steph just had a lot more motivation, not just from one single source, but it was like so many things. Like people were questioning his legacy. People were questioning the Warriors' legitimacy.
Which is baffling to me, bro. They were really questioning his legacy.
It's really not. I mean, it's really not, because like there's like, yes, his rings are legitimate. Like you could put an asterisk on every single ring.
I see. That's not even what I'm saying. I'm talking about him as a player. I think his accolades speak for himself. Number one in 3-point. Like he has had
Yeah.
some of the best playoff runs. Like he's great. So his legacy,
So
like that's
do you
stupid
guys
to me.
think that he needed that Finals MVP to validate
Nah.
who he was?
You know what? I actually hated that question, seeing it on ESPN and stuff. I hated that
it.
question because I think it was just they're saying that just to kind of start a conversation. Because Steph Curry doesn't need a Finals MVP. I mean, a Finals MVP is nice to say, but it's not on his resume. Not on his
Right.
resume. He
His
doesn't need
resume
it.
is already solidified, bro. Like he's
Yeah.
good. But that's why I find it so stupid. But what I was gonna say about Boston and Golden State, one of the biggest factors, if you guys obviously just watching the game, but also looking at the plus minus, the box score, and just how Tatum played in the fourth quarter. Like I get it, he's young, but Isandro alluded to it. Jaylen Brown is his first finals too. Al Horford, this was his first finals, and I get it, he's older, but like this was his first finals too. He might have, but he didn't crack under pressure, right? Jaylen Brown, though he did shoot the ball really well, and his efficiency offensively was solid when it came to actually shooting, but when it came to dribbling, bro, get the ball out of his hands, bro. He cannot dribble the ball, and when he spins, it's easy turnover every single time. It's an easy turnover. So I agree with both of you to an extent. I think it does have to do with the mental aspect, and also just Tatum. Just the pressure was just too much. But I will disagree with what Joel said when it comes to the point guard play. I think if you would have had a solid point guard, like not Marcus Smart, because
Not
Marcus
even a
Smart
point
is
guard, a
good.
playmaker.
Yeah, but like so if like I was telling my boy, I was like, if Rondo was there, Rondo at this age, I feel like he would have been a solid player coach, but they didn't really have that because Horford could do it, but he's not a playmaker. Horford is a big body in the paint, right? Like that's his job. You would have had a Rondo type player, somebody to just initiate the offense, put players in their positions to succeed. I really think this series goes like 6
So
on the Celtics.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
But yeah,
well, so I don't disagree with that. I just think that if you look, and again, this is coming from a Boston Celtics fan, so you guys have seen our team, but I've watched a lot of games, right? So I've seen how through the past few years, like a long time, Marcus Smart has been the backup point guard, but he got drafted to be a point guard, not a shooting guard.
yeah.
So when he came into the league, I mean, he's playing at the 2 position for I don't know 4 or 5 years, and then every single time either Kyrie was hurt or Kemba was out, Marcus Smart would come and he would really step up as a playmaker. I think that the problem, I guess, I'm not asking for a different player, but if Marcus plays as a playmaker and he plays like a point guard, instead of trying to score 20, 25 a game.
Yeah, he's really sporadic. Yeah.
Because that's what he likes to do in those types of moments. So if he's stuck to just being a playmaker, he's a great playmaker. I've watched it in a lot of regular season games, and I'm not saying great comparing him to like CP.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not comparing him to them. I'm just saying for our team, what we need, because I don't want him to do anything besides that, facilitate and shoot a 3 when he's open, and drive on small guards, and that's all I'm asking him to do. I'm not asking him to do too much, and that's why I just feel like when people would ask me a lot, who do you see in free agency? Who do you want? I really don't want anybody. I don't want anybody. I just want to stick with what we have, because I really think that we have the guys to win a championship, and we saw it. I think we a lot of people saw how close we got, and a lot of people were betting on us.
I'm telling you, man, I had you guys, even like before the Nets, because I'll be honest, bro, I knew the Nets, they had no chance. So I knew that the Celtics, after that series, they were gonna, cruise. Now against Miami, I was a little scared. I really thought if Jimmy would have hit that 3,
Me too.
That's it, bro. Miami's going, like it's over with.
Yeah.
But once Boston got over that hump and they got it against the finals and against the Warriors, I'm sorry, and then especially in Game 1, I was like, oh man, no, this Boston, this is Boston's. In Boston in 6, I was screaming it, and it ended up being the opposite. But I still feel like it's a really good learning experience for them, because they've already had so much success before, but they were never able to get to that hump, which was to get over that hump, which was to get to the finals. And now they went to the finals. Tatum learned. I feel like this offseason is going to be one of his best off seasons. And if it's not the Nets, because I obviously don't think that the Nets are going to go, but whoever it is, I think the Celtics are the number one team to go back to the finals this coming season. What do you guys think? Is there any other team that could potentially be there? You know, because Milwaukee had an injury with Chris Middleton. Maybe it would have been different if Middleton would have played against Boston and they would have won. But what do you guys think? Because I got Boston as
from
the
the
team to
East.
beat in the East. Yeah. What do you got, Sandro?
I think it has to be either Boston or Milwaukee, depending on if the Heat do anything this season. I know that even if the 76ers do anything, I just feel like the cap, Embiid is amazing, but James Harden's a little past the hill. Maybe he actually was injured and he's going to come back and he's going to be like 80% of what he was, maybe. But I really don't see Philly there. But like it
Harden
really
sucks.
depends on Miami, because if they get like a Bradley Beal somehow, or if they get like another offensive option to really help them out, because they were like a Bradley Beal away from, going
Facts.
toe to toe with the Warriors,
Facts.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's really between those two teams, and then Miami's a sleeper team that kind of have the asterisk around. They're really depending on what they do in the offseason.
So no Brooklyn.
No Brooklyn.
I don't really care.
You know, if you would have asked me that a week ago, I'd probably say Brooklyn.
Because Kyrie.
I'd probably say Miami. You know, Boston. I would say about 4 teams. You know, I would say Brooklyn, Miami, Milwaukee. Well, I guess it's 3 teams, but because Brooklyn, I mean, let's just say they got Ben Simmons going. If they could ever pull that off, and then Kyrie was still there, I felt like they would have had a chance. And I was scared of them coming into next year. Now, I don't know if you want to get into that whole thing now.
No, we will. But,
Okay, yeah, but that, now I clearly not Brooklyn. So I guess for me, I would obviously say Boston.
Yeah.
And then I guess I am looking at Miami, depending on what they do in the offseason.
Well,
Because they were this close to, I mean, I was sitting on this couch back here. I was sweating bullets. I thought they had it. I thought they were
And
going to win.
If you look at Miami though, they might lose PJ Tucker, and that's a
Oh,
pretty
I think they
big.
did. Oh, wait, is it a?
No, so he decided to opt out of his contract. Now he can re-sign with them, but I think he might get a bigger deal somewhere else, maybe Philadelphia, and that's a pretty significant loss for them because he's a really really good defender, and he was clamping like he clamped.
He could go to Brooklyn.
Don't tell me that. don't tell me that, please.
I mean, I thought I saw something earlier that said he.
Yeah, it said he opted out, and the Sixers are planning on offering him a 3-year, $30 million deal.
Okay, so it's not okay. All right.
Yeah, but I don't know how they're gonna do that with the cap space. I don't know. The thing is that that would be a significant loss, and I think Boston is gonna keep that core. They might sign a free agent or two. Just another spark plug off the bench because Derek White was great, but now I think they need a player like an Alec Burks type they can trade for somebody like him, or a Will Barton type player. Just a pure scorer, like a Lou Will type, just a pure scorer off the bench that he don't gotta pass the ball. He just gotta go ahead and shoot. Get some buckets off the bench, and then from there bring their guys back. Because I really think Boston has it this upcoming season. But let's move on to the Nets, man. We gotta do it at this point. So my Nets.
Sorry, Jason. You have to be the one to
honestly,
transition
bro,
us into this.
It's not even like that, bro. Like I'm just so tired, bro. Like I'm tired of seeing news that's like, oh, Kyrie might leave to go to LA and take $20 million less. Okay, and like he don't care about the money, obviously. But then you go and like you hear stories of, oh, KD might request out. Teams already making packages, and it's like Ben Simmons hasn't even suited up for us, and they're already thinking about trading him for like a John Collins. Like, bro, like there's so much going on, and I don't understand. This was supposed to be the Nets. Like these last 2 years were supposed to be our team. Kyrie, KD, Jared Allen, LeVert, Dinwiddie, all these guys were supposed to be there. Then trading these guys away for James Harden. I knew after that the domino effect was just gonna. Then trading James Harden away for Ben Simmons, who never suited up for us. Kyrie never getting vaccinated, and then not playing until playing. Just so much going on. I want to get your guys' takes because I obviously have a lot to say, but I want to see what you guys have to say on just the whole Kyrie situation. Let's not even worry about Ben Simmons or anything else. The Kyrie situation. Joel, you're a Celtics fan, so you saw Kyrie, and he promised to stay in Boston, and then he left, and then he promised the Nets he's gonna stay with us. Now we don't know what's going on. What can you say about Kyrie? Like about his not about his game, but about what can happen potentially with Brooklyn. Like, what are your thoughts on it?
So I guess I learned firsthand, what Kyrie does. And the thing is, I actually I'm a Celtics fan who doesn't hate Kyrie. I don't hate Kyrie Irving that much because I hate the fact that he stomped on the logo. That took it too far for me.
That
He
was
sat on it.
disrespectful. Okay.
That was a
I
little bit
loved it. That was
disrespectful.
disrespectful. Yeah.
And some of the stuff he says about Boston as if we lied to him, but he lied to the whole city. That's why I'm confused. So the thing with Kyrie is you just don't know what he's gonna do, but he's gonna do something stupid or weird. He's
Right.
gonna do not even stupid. He's just gonna do something weird. Like I don't even hate his whole thing about like the vaccination. I mean, that's
Yeah.
whatever he wants to do, whatever. But just the attitude behind how he talks and stuff like that. That's what bothers me, and the unpredictability of his movements and how he moves. So I don't see him in maybe actually, you know what? Maybe I see him starting the season off in Brooklyn. Maybe to the midway point.
Deadline, right?
And then they try to deal him. But
do you think he opts in, or does he sign a new contract?
dude, it's Kyrie. I don't know because he's apparently really close with Kevin Durant. So if Kevin Durant talks with him and it's just like, hey, I've tried to get this whole team. This, like you said, this was supposed to be Brooklyn. Like for these last 2 years was supposed to be about Brooklyn winning a championship, and they were so close because they had the pieces.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. I don't know.
It sucks too. Before I get your take on this, Sandra, it sucks too because a lot of it was injuries, right? Like KD was out his first year with us, and then once we make the trade for Harden, KD was balling throughout that whole season, right? But then Harden gets injured with the hamstring, and then in the playoffs, Harden is out, he's in and out, whatever. Kyrie and KD are balling smack in Milwaukee, and then Kyrie goes down, right? And it's just all of that, plus coming into the next season, Harden's fat and out of shape. Kyrie is like, again, with the whole vaccine thing, and I'm not hating on the whole vaccine thing too much because, again, to each their own, and I feel like that was a stupid mandate from the beginning, because the Yankees decide, oh, we don't want to be vaccinated now, they changed it up, which it is what it is, whatever. But the thing is, for the team, for the sacrifice of the team, I felt like it could have been done. He could have probably just put his pride aside and be like, you know what? This is for me to win a championship. The thing is, he already has a championship. So it's not even on his mind. Like, he doesn't care. And then you got Harden, who's, again, fat and out of shape. He's not really there. You trade him for Ben. Ben is supposed to make his debut. Then he gets hurt. Like, a lot of it has to do with injuries. At the same time, like Kyrie, there's just little things that it's like you don't have to do the things that you're doing. And now you're just making it even worse for yourself and for my Nets, bro. Because like we don't deserve. Well, I don't know what we deserve, to be honest. The Nets suck. But Isandro, what are your takes on this? Because I'm really about to start crying.
Yeah, that was a lot. Let me just try to think. I think he's gonna opt in. I think this is all just really a bluff. Like you said, KD and Kyrie they're definitely constantly in communication. The Nets, their hesitancy over everything is very real, but I do think that Kyrie is gonna opt in, and this will be his last season with the Nets, championship or not. Unless maybe if they win a championship, then But I really see him like regardless if they win a championship or not, he'll pull a Scottie Pippen, he'll leave. I think this is gonna be it. But he will definitely opt into that last year because like who's really going to pick him up? Like who has the teams that he wants to go to? If you saw his list, I don't know if you
No cap
remember. Maybe you
space.
could tell. None of them have cap space, and like the team, like the Lakers. People are saying the Lakers. Who who are the Lakers going to give up to get him?
So
KD wants to
bro.
play with Russ again. Come on.
Yeah.
But I think Russ's contract ends next year, right?
This is his last.
This is
year
his
on the
last year,
contract.
right?
Yeah.
So there's got to be some kind of core like. This could be nothing, but there's got to be some kind of correlation between Kyrie opting in and then, this is going to be Kyrie's last season at Boston and this is going to be Russ's last season on the Lakers. Maybe LeBron will play I think next year
card?
maybe. But also it's LeBron's last season too. I don't know, to be honest, with this whole Kyrie situation, but I do really think that he'll play another year for the Nets just because of KD.
My only Well, my big thing too is like what team is gonna offer him a long term deal? Like what he's looking for, because his contract it could be long term, fine, but there's gonna be an incentive base, or there should be an incentive base. Like you have to play a certain amount of games to get the certain amount of money. It has to come down to the vaccine, the whole COVID thing that might be a part of his contract too. A lot of it is going to be based on what are the terms of that contract. And so far, looks like Kyrie isn't willing to do any terms. He just wants to get paid, which by all means, bro, you can get paid and do whatever the heck you want to do. But you gotta show up to get paid. Like I don't understand like what's so difficult about that. Just show up, be there for your team, be there for your boy KD, who you brought to Brooklyn. Like he wouldn't be there if it wasn't for you. So do like that pisses me off. But
so you wouldn't. But we're asking like, who's gonna offer him this contract, and we're saying that it's gonna be very heavily incentive based, but somebody's gonna give him a contract. It's Kyrie Irving.
But is it gonna be
who
what
is it
he
gonna
wants?
be? Exactly.
But yeah, we're saying who, because we genuinely can't think of why anybody would want to. But it's blowing. I guess it's just blowing my mind personally. Like, but he
Because of
will
his
still
talent,
get
right?
a contract, or
Right.
just he still will get a contract. Like he still will be on an NBA team because he's just that good. So
Yeah.
no matter his problems, the problems that he brings into the locker room, to the organization, lies, spitting on your logo, stuff like that, you know, he'll bring it all, but he will still get paid and he will still get a contract. But it's probably not going to be this big bag, but he's still going to be on an NBA team.
And that's the thing. He deserves a big bag. Like his talent deserves a big bag. But his personality deserves nothing. He deserves zero. Did you? I don't know if you guys saw this, but on ESPN on First Take, Stephen A was talking about some stuff that was going on in Brooklyn, and he said that after practice, after the Nets practice, Kyrie would gather like 5 or 6 players from the Nets and do his own practice after, without practicing with the team originally. Like he wouldn't go to the Nets practice and then create his own practice with the team. Like
I know, I never heard that.
How baffling is that, bro? Like that's what to think about stuff
That can't
like
be
that.
real.
Bro, well, I mean,
I never heard that.
You never know. Stephen A. Smith is the one who said it. Stephen A. Smith comes up with a lot of stuff, but if that is true, bro, it doesn't even surprise me if it's true. Cause like it's Kyrie. Kyrie is weird, bro. Like I don't know. I love him as a player. One of my favorite
I have his
players to watch.
jersey.
Period.
I
So do
still
I.
have his jersey. I like him as a
Bro.
player. I loved watching him in Cleveland.
You still have his Celtics jersey?
I still have his Celtics jersey. I'm not burning it.
You paid
Oh,
money
yeah.
for that. Why would you?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't burn. The only one I would
I-
might burn is the Harden one because I hate him. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Just give it to me, bro. But yeah.
I don't think it doesn't even fit me. It's freaking extra small. It's when I was skinny. But anyway, let's move on, man. I don't want to talk about the Nets anymore. I just get depressed. There was actually other stuff that I didn't mention in the opening.
Well,
The DeAndre Ayton. Oh, go ahead,
Okay,
Joel.
go ahead.
Yeah.
no,
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking, how do you guys feel about Chet Holmgren?
Oh, I love it.
You do like him.
I love his cockiness. I love it. He's not gonna be like amazing, but I think he's a good pick.
I think this is a really bad draft, actually.
Wow.
I don't like a lot of them. Actually, the attitudes that I've been seeing within like last year and this year, I genuinely have not. If I was a GM, I'm not touching. I don't like Chet. I don't like him.
What?
I like
his talent or his.
It's a little bit
just-
of both. It's his frame. It's his frame. I hear people say like, oh, who's he gonna post up? Why would Chet Holmgren post up? That's not his game,
obviously.
right? Like that's just not like that. That argument's dumb. I just mean his size. I think that he's young, and you got these 25-year-old. I mean, Giannis. We have guys with bodies like that going at him. If I'm a GM, I'm not drafting him because of that. Then I think he'll be fine. Like I think his career, he might average like 12 points a game. But is that a number 2 pick?
What?
I really don't see him.
Okay.
12 and
I don't-
10 on good efficiency.
That's not a number 2. That's not a number 2 pick. And that's what you just drafted.
There's been worse number 2 picks though.
Yes, that's what I'm not saying he's going to be a bad player. But number 2, I think he went really, really high. And that's
But he was top 3 projected though.
I know that's just me. That's just me. I would have picked Ivy. I would have picked Smith. There's a bunch of guys. I
Smith
would
went
have had
third. Where did Smith go?
Smith went third. Yeah.
Smith went third. Let me
Man,
see, I
that's
do have it.
wild to really think about. See, nah, I disagree a lot, like a lot on that, because you got to remember the NBA has transitioned a lot to players like Chet. It doesn't matter how tall, how skinny he is, because you got players like you mentioned, like Giannis, right? Giannis became built, but he came to the
Mhm.
league like as skinny as Chet, right?
How did he
So
play? How was he?
he was raw. But you got to remember the league at that time wasn't like that. Like it wasn't like how it is now. It's soft now. Let's be real, it's soft. So the way he's gonna come in, he's gonna come in a little bit like Kristaps did. Like like he's gonna have a little Kristaps to him. Like a little. He got that shot. He's more of a perimeter player. He's a
Is that his
7
peak
foot.
though? Like the players you're
Yeah,
mentioning, he
I
can
think
become like.
that's my problem.
Oh,
Is
he has no like his peak is like
his ceiling to me is not superstar. He's not a
It's
superstar.
Kristaps, which is borderline star.
which.
Maybe.
Okay, I'll agree that he's not superstar, and
That's who you draft.
I
But that's why I'm
personally would have
saying that's
gone
who you
Jalen,
draft
yeah, or Jabari,
in the
whatever his name is.
top five. In the top five, you're looking for who's going to give me superstar potential to change my franchise because you're in the garbage. That's why you have the number one, number two. That's why you have those picks because you're not a good team. So you want to get somebody who's going to come in and transition your whole thing, everything. And especially it was the Thunder who drafted him. I mean, do they think Chet's going to be their superstar? Because they don't have a suit. They have, well, actually, they have Shy. I forgot about
No, Shea
My bad.
is a
That's my bad.
superstar. That's
That's
my
my bad.
superstar. Yeah,
That's my
my
bad.
boy.
But you want another one, and is Chet the superstar?
Well, Giddy's.
A superstar. Giddy's good. I like Giddy. No, I like him.
Yeah. I understand what you mean, but I think the fit is perfect. Like I think the fit with Chet is perfect. I think that's what they drafted. I think they drafted the best fit for the team. And maybe he won't be a superstar, but I could see him being like a super.
12 and 10.
Like I could see.
Sandra said, like 12 and 8. Something like that.
I can see him averaging around 18,
Maybe like
18 and
16,
10,
16.
something
I'll
like
give him
that.
16 and 10.
Maybe not
What
in
about
his
his first
rookie
year?
year. Maybe around 12.
Rookie year?
Yeah,
An inefficient 15 and 10, probably.
15 is crazy for him, bro. 15?
You gotta remember,
Chet?
he was shooting 39% in college, right? Now, of course, college NBA is
From
different
three?
from three, but he was shooting 39%
That's
from
I
three.
know, that's good.
That's
good.
great. He's
Good for somebody his size. That's really good.
he's one of three players that like do that, in his rookie season, right, in his freshman year. Like damn, that's wild to me that you're saying that, because I really think that he's gonna be a good player. Now, is he gonna be better than Smith? Absolutely not. I think Smith that's a superstar. Like he's going to be like the best player in a few years, I think, because he's that talented. But
what about Banchero?
he's in Orlando. Orlando's gonna mess it up somehow. So I don't.
Which is sad because I thought I think him going number one, I'm good with that. I actually think he's the best player in the draft. But I'm pretty high on Smith too, though. Like I do like both of them, but I feel like Paolo, him going to Orlando, I think you're right. It's gonna.
Well, the fit just isn't in Orlando. You look at the team that they got. They got Wendell Carter. He could shoot, but like you want him. He's like Al Horford. You kind of want him a little bit more in the post. When he first got into the league, and then you got Paolo, who is an offensive skilled forward, right? Like he can get to his spots, whatever, but he would need a good point guard alongside him to get him to the spots, right? Like, and then you got Jonathan Isaac, who's coming back from injury. You got Mo Wagner, you got Franz Wagner, like these big dudes that can play the position that he got. I don't know. I felt like Jabari would have been a better pick because he's a better defender. Paolo is not. He's not a good defender. Like let's be real. Like Jabari is a really good defender. I think a 3-and-D player for them would have been way better because that would have just made a Jonathan Isaac trade even more simple. Trade him out because he's not gonna fit with that team. But now with Paolo there, you still want to keep Jonathan for his defense alongside Paolo. but they also can't play together because offensively they don't work together. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why I think the fit is bad, unless they're like brewing up a trade, possibly trading Markel and Wendell for another solidified wing. I don't know, but does Orlando really have an incentive to do that? Like, not really, because they're not going to do anything this year either, anyway, right? So I think Paolo was good, and I would have loved him more on the Rockets. I think the Rockets would have been a better fit for him. But is he better than Smith? Absolutely not. Is he better than Holmgren? Yes, but only because he's bigger. Like he's a little bigger. But I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you think, Sandro? Well, I don't know.
I agree. No, I mean, I agree. I think what you're saying is kind of general consensus, what everybody's thinking and feeling. But maybe there's just something that the Orlando front office sees that we don't, which has never been the case with Orlando. But maybe this one time it actually is going to come off that way.
Sacramento.
But look, remember, hey, they turned it around, right? Because they traded Vucevic for the Bulls pick. What did that Bulls pick turn into? Turned into Wagner. Top 3 in rookie of the year voting.
And I remember when I did the mock draft, I didn't even have Wagner in that pick, and I was pissed that they picked him. And he's nice. Like, shout out Mo Wagner. I mean, Franz Wagner.
I was actually pretty high on Mo Wagner when he was getting drafted.
Me too.
I remember I wanted Boston. I wanted Boston to grab him. I liked him a lot, but he didn't turn out.
I mean, he's okay, solid. He's a good trash talker.
He's a good role player. He's fine.
Yeah. He's cool. I mean, his brother's better. But whatever. It is what it is. But yeah,
his brother's better than him in his first season. That's
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild. That's wild. But let's move on from that. Unless you guys have something else to say. Well, maybe
I wanted to get you guys just your take on Chet, because I feel like I haven't been able to talk about that one. That's all.
No, that's fine. I love that. I love it because I actually did want to mention something else in the draft. I don't really understand what the Kings. Like, I get what they're doing, but I also don't. Like, I love the pick that they have.
Wait, what did the Kings do? Can you fill me in?
So the Kings drafted what's this kid's name?
Keegan Murray.
Keegan Murray. They drafted Keegan Murray. Great, solid player. I like the way that he plays. He's a wing. He plays a lot like Halliburton. I see him and I'm like, why did you trade Halliburton? Like, he's a very how LeVert plays, Isandro? Like, he's very sporadic with the way that he just dribbles the ball, gets in the play, whatever. Tyrese is the same way. This kid is exactly the same way. Like, why did you trade Tyrese Halliburton in the first place? Like, again, I love the pick. But I thought that they wanted to trade that pick because they traded for Sabonis and they want to make the playoffs. But instead, they're gonna try to develop a guy, even though they didn't want to develop Tyrese. And what are the Kings doing, bro?
Like, they don't even know.
I love Davion Mitchell. I love De'Aaron. De'Aaron, I still feel like he's one of the most underrated guards. I feel like he should have gone to Boston. I said that last year when I was thinking, if De'Aaron wants out, Boston would be the best team for him because he just facilitate whatever. But
that actually would be nice. A lot of speed, and he plays hard.
And he's got a lot of spacing around him.
Yeah,
that would have been a good, but sadly they didn't happen. They traded for bonus, but they gave up Tyrese, bro. Like, they could have had De'Aaron, Tyrese, and then drafted Keegan Murray with the 4th pick because that's their originally own pick, and they traded Tyrese, who wanted to be it makes zero sense to me. I would have cried too. Well, not King suck, but I meant I would have cried because I gave everything to that organization and I told them exactly my plan, and now they just trade me like that. I don't know. It's just really
so crazy because it's an L organization, and it too. You go there and I'm going to change this organization around for the better, and they don't want to change, and they get rid of you, the one person who actually wants to make a difference.
Nasty.
It's like, why am I putting forth all this effort? It's like, what's the point?
It's like being a Celtics fan.
Okay, watch your mouth. But and for Sabonis.
Yeah, he's trash. I mean, not
Sabonis too.
He's
good, but cool, he's not a needle mover for that team.
No.
Can't even play a lick of defense. He's worse than me. That's not true. But let's now move over to the DeAndre Ayton thing that I want to mention before. Yo, where do you think he's going? Because the Pistons just traded for Jalen Duren, who I thought was gonna be a great pick for Charlotte, but Charlotte went with another center, which is fine. But Charlotte originally drafted Jalen Duren, traded him to Detroit. throughout that process, I'm thinking, yo, Detroit made a good pick in drafting the guard. What's this kid's name? Shaden Sharp, I think it was Sharp or Dyson
Let me
Daniels. I
see.
forgot who they drafted. But they drafted a guard to play alongside Cade, which I personally love. Um,
Yeah,
but
Killian Hayes, he's a bust. Get him
yeah,
out of there.
he's done. But whoever they drafted, what was his name? Joel, do you know? Do you know his name?
What are you talking about from right now?
Yeah, for the fifth pick.
That was Jaden Ivey, which I
Jaden
really like.
Ivey, Jaden Ivey. Okay, so they drafted Jaden Ivey. It was so now they got Cade, Jaden Ivey, Stewart, Sadiq Bey. You know they have a solid team, and then
They have
you
a
know
good, I like
they
their team.
they trade for Jalen Duren. But I'm thinking, bro, DeAndre Ayton has expressed interest in trying to play with Cade. Do you think that DeAndre Ayton going to Detroit would be not I'm not saying championship team, but do you think that they could be like at least a play-in, definitely top six? Like what do you guys think?
The thing is
Is that even the best case
he's
scenario
gonna
for him?
stay on the Suns, bro. Because the Suns, they're not gonna give him a contract. Other teams are gonna give him the max, and then they're just gonna be, you know what? We're just gonna match it. So they're
Yeah,
gonna
but
match whatever other teams give them, and they're
sign
gonna
and
keep him.
trade though. That's what they're doing. Like he's
Whatever.
gone, bro. Like
Yeah,
he's
I think
done.
they said it was going to be a sign and trade, something like that, where
Like they're done. They don't
match
want
it,
him.
but still trade it. It doesn't matter.
They don't want him because of his attitude.
I mean, I don't know.
I think it's just Starver's kind of, or Sarver, however you say his name. He's kind of cheap, isn't that? Why are they
He's
getting rid of
very
him?
cheap. Well, that was one issue, and then also in the playoffs. Come on, he played 17 minutes in Game 7 because he quit. He quit on the team. And I love DeAndre. I think he'd be a good addition on Brooklyn. But I think a trade is inevitable. And I thought Detroit would be the best team. But if there is a trade out there, what do you think is the best team? Let's start off with Isandro on this. I want to see what you got.
The best team, the most realistic team to trade him to?
Yeah, most realistic / best. Yeah.
Well, if it's not Detroit, I have no idea. Like maybe Portland can come up with something. They have a lot of assets. They have a lot of things they
Trading
can do.
Nurkic, I could see that. Trading
Get rid of
Nurkic,
Nurk. They could
possibly
get rid of Nurk.
possibly another player.
They just got Jeremy Grant. So Dame, Anthony, Jeremy Grant, and DeAndre Ayton. That's a playoff team. Maybe a strong second round exit, third, Western Conference Finals if they get lucky with injuries, right? Honestly, Detroit was going to be it. Any other team than those two would have been kind of unrealistic, or we would have had to like do some kind of gymnastics to make it work.
Right.
Dream scenario: you get rid of Ben Simmons, you trade him to Brooklyn, you get DeAndre Ayton, Kevin Durant, Kyrie opts in miraculously. They go on to win the championship. DeAndre Ayton proves all the doubters wrong.
At that point, just trade DeAndre Ayton for Russell Westbrook. What do you think, Joel? What do you think, Joel? What do you got? What do you think is the best team for DeAndre?
You know what? After you said Portland, that team would sound very nice. They do have the assets for it, but I mean, what did Charlotte do?
So Charlotte, they originally drafted Jalen Duren, traded that pick away, and then drafted another guard to play alongside LaMelo. And then a few picks down, they drafted, I believe it was Williams. Was it Mark Williams? I don't know, but they drafted a shot blocking center, which I think is a good pick. But I would have much rather have seen Jalen Duren. But do you think Charlotte would be a good destination for DeAndre?
Yeah, I think Charlotte plays. There's a lot of young guys over there, and they've got a very nice culture going for young guys like that who want to kind of be in the limelight, because that's just kind of the guys. LaMelo, Bridges, which I don't know what's going to happen with Bridges, but if he were to ever, because I think he's supposed to sign a contract this year. I think.
Yeah, I believe that's their like number one priority.
And I hope he signs back with Charlotte. I hope he signs back with Charlotte. But if they can get something in Charlotte,
like a possible like Gordon Hayward trade or something.
Yeah, something like that, because Gordon Hayward was also, I think they were shopping him.
Yeah, they are.
And then they got a few guards over there that they can probably throw in for him, because it sounds like they just want to get him out because he's a great player.
Yeah.
Sounds like they just want to get rid of him.
So one team, actually, before you continue, but one team that was mentioned or rumored to be potentially interested was the Atlanta Hawks. Trading John Collins, possibly just what's his name? The kid that they drafted last year from Duke. I forgot his name. Whatever. He's Jalen Johnson. They're potential rumor packaging them to. And it was going to be a trade to Sacramento, but it didn't happen. So now they're thinking maybe they could, make a package for DeAndre. You think the Hawks would be a good pickup for DeAndre? What do you guys think? No.
No, I think they're the same team. It's the same team.
Sideways move. Yeah.
Really?
It becomes the same team because I mean, I know him and Clint are different players, but they're about the same size. And how often do you see Trae Young? I mean, Trae Young is a facilitator. He has his hands on the ball a lot. So how often would you see him kind of deferring now to DeAndre Ayton? I feel like he's just going to do the exact same thing he did with Clint Capella, which is throw him a bunch of lobs, have him get rebounds. Maybe a couple times in a game, have him post up. But I think Ayton, one of his things was he wanted plays around him more. I think that was one of the things he was complaining about, that he wanted the ball more. He wanted some more action that way to be a first option. And he's not going to do that in Atlanta. I mean, he's just not going to do that anywhere, but he's definitely not going to do that in Atlanta.
Definitely not. I mean, that's one of the reasons why John Collins wants to leave. I mean, don't get me wrong, John Collins isn't exactly the type of guy you want to run plays through, but one of his biggest complaints throughout his entire tenure for the Hawks is they're not running anything through him. It's always Trae Young. So it's not going to change with DeAndre Ayton, who's literally only ever been used in that role with CP3 and Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you guys think that this is like kind of where the big man is at? Like DeAndre Ayton is great. He's a really good big man, but the Suns are saying, yo, JaVale McGee is basically doing his job. And he's doing a little bit better because he's a little better defender. Like, is this just like the big man is just dead? Is this just how it's gonna be like for future draft
it's
picks
just
and stuff?
DeAndre Ayton because don't let the CP3 effect fool you. DeAndre Ayton is great, but he's not like, oh my God, he's like, I must have this guy because there was a point in time that we were like, yo, DeAndre Jordan, this guy is going to be the best center in the league for the foreseeable future. He goes to Brooklyn. It's like, oh, this is who he is.
Don't ever mention that name in Brooklyn in the same sentence ever again. I hate that poem.
But you of all people should know what I'm talking about
I
here.
hated him so much.
But Chris Paul makes his big men better.
But remember, DeAndre Ayton was a number one pick, bro. Like he was picked.
It was an undeserved number one pick, though.
Nah,
come on. You think it was undeserved? You're saying?
No. I mean, obviously, Luka. I mean, come on.
Okay, in hindsight,
but I will say, but look,
at the time,
he's not a bad number one pick. I'm just saying there.
Okay, I just want to say that. Yeah, he's not a bad number one pick.
Nah, definitely. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying because there were two better players in that draft who went lower than him, it's always going to be that revisionist history, Like, oh yeah, DeAndre Ayton's cool, but you could have had Luka, you could have had Trae.
But I do remember seeing during that draft, a lot of guys were like, what he's giving you now is what he's going to give you in the NBA and what he's going to give you for the rest of his career. And then he does it his first year, which is this, 18, 17, between like 16 and 20 points a game, and 10 rebounds. And that's what you're going to get every single game is what you're going to get from him. And I do see that continuing. And he's going to be one of those guys where his numbers have a lot. They have, you see the numbers and you're like, wow, this guy must have been really good. But it doesn't always translate to wins. Right? So I think that's just what he is. So DeAndre Ayton is one of those guys which I like, and I would like to have him on it. Like in Boston, cool, great. He'll be nice. I mean, I like Rob. I don't want him, but I'm saying,
I'd rather Time Lord, to be honest.
I'd rather Rob. But I'm just saying he's one of those guys that you would want on your team because of what he brings to the table. But he's not a winner. He's not. He doesn't have that winning mentality, I don't think.
I don't think so. Me neither. Which doesn't take away. What? What'd you say, Jason?
Do you think anybody on the Suns has a winning mentality? Because they all suck. Shout out Chris Paul.
Book.
Maybe Devin Booker.
Book.
I don't know. After him and Kendall, there was going a little something. They, they broke up, by the way. If you guys didn't know.
They broke up?
He hit me up.
I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
It's because he lost, probably.
I'll send my condolences to her.
Yeah.
Wow, not to him. Not this guy. Single life. Listen, but yeah, I'm I don't know, bro. Like that was the biggest choke I've ever seen in CP3's career, honestly, in my opinion. I think that's the biggest choke. Because Dallas wasn't even supposed to be there. And the way that they defended CP3 and the way that they abused him on offense, bro, that was insane. Oh, and speaking of, do you guys think Dallas with this trade with Christian Wood and do you guys think they have like another move on their way? And if they do, can they repeat as Western Conference?
I
finals?
wanted it to be Jeremy. Because Luca, Jeremy, and Christian would have been so nice.
Oh,
and
oh,
Oh,
Devin,
wait,
and,
okay.
Yeah, I
okay.
thought you said like Christian
Not instead,
Wood,
no,
like
because they
Jeremy.
needed a
I thought you
big.
said instead. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought-
No.
Slap you.
Especially because I didn't think he was going to be this cheap, but I knew he was going to be like pennies on the dollar because
Yeah.
Detroit missed their opportunity to really cash in on him at the deadline. They were talking Patrick Williams, but then I think they wanted Pat in like something else too.
I
love
hate him,
Patrick.
by the way. I hate
Patrick
him.
Williams?
Oh yeah, I hate him. I think he's not
What?
worth a dime. I think he's not worth anything.
You honestly
I think-
are giving me the hottest takes, and I love
He's
it.
definitely worth more than a
Jesus.
2025 first round Milwaukee pick, though. To be
I
honest,
I just don't like him. I don't like him.
You know who the Babs should go for? They should go for OG Anunoby because he's on the market.
he's not on the market. There's no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
OG
they
is the
said-
future.
No,
No.
but I think I saw something like that
he's on the
too.
market
What?
Yeah.
because Scotty's
Yeah, that's why.
Scotty,
They're like
bro.
the same kind of player, basically.
Except
But the
Scotty's
whole
like-
team is first of all, the whole team is the exact same player. It's just
Yeah,
Scotty's
facts.
better than them at doing
All
what
of
they
them.
also do.
yeah,
all
Kind
the
of does
same.
everything that they do in one
Yeah.
But
player.
better. But they do the same thing. They all can shoot a little bit. They're all about 6'7".
They're all Swiss
Bro,
Army knives.
They all play
If-
defense.
if they can trade, if they could, get together a package of Josh Green, Tim Hardaway Jr., and like I don't know who else do we have on the team. I don't know. They traded like the whole team
Jalen
for
Brunson
Christian
signed a trade because there's no way he's
Nah, no,
staying
no,
in
no,
Dallas. He's not
Don't
staying
say
in
so.
Dallas.
Wood.
They can't afford him.
Don't disrespect me right now. Mark even has money. No,
They
he's
can't
staying.
keep him.
Nope. I don't
They're
wanna
gonna
listen
lose
to
him for
Nope,
nothing.
No, you're done. No,
Well,
no.
what was his contract at? Like 90?
He was at one. No, wait. Like what they want to pay him?
Well, like what was his potential earnings? What was he supposed to
I
get? It
believe that they are willing to offer him around 90 million.
was like 90, right?
90 for how many years?
4, I think.
4. Yeah.
What's the math? How many years is that? I mean, how much money per year?
Well, when you divide it,
can't ask
it's
me.
like around 20 something mil.
Yeah, that's about right.
Around like 20
That's how much
mil.
they're gonna give him. That's how much they want to give him.
Yeah.
They can do that.
I think
They
they
have bird
can.
rights on
yeah.
him, you baboon.
They don't have a lot. They have Luca. They have that's it. You know,
Well,
They
Luka,
got
I think-
Dinwiddie. They got
I think
Dinwiddie too.
Luca's
'Cause he's
contract
making like
kicks
30.
in this upcoming season.
That's why Luca's contract.
Yeah.
Dinwiddie's making.
But they
30.
can do it because of the bird right.
Tim
No, they can
Hardaway
definitely do
Jr. is
a
making
sign and
25
trade.
or 20.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You trade him for OG, bro.
If they can get OG, wow,
Bro, that's it, bro. They win a championship next year.
that's
Okay.
crazy.
Okay. And they're gonna get
I
Kyrie
like
for the
that.
minimum.
That's
Come
what
on,
I'm
bro.
saying. Like they need not like a Jeremy Grant, but they need like a wing to really.
They need
like,
me out there, if I'm being honest. 'Cause I'm nice. Listen, let's move on to another topic I wanted to get into. And it might be the last one. We'll see. I don't know. I'm tired. But there's
kinda late.
one last thing I wanted to discuss with you guys. And it is this upcoming free agency. Now, the Kyrie Irving, obviously, we talked about it, but what team do you think is in desperate need of making a trade, making a signing? Like what's that one team that you're like, okay, this could either help them win now or they got to just rebuild? I'm going to
Philly.
start off with this one. Oh, never mind. Go ahead, Isandro.
No.
Give me
You
that
say
Philly
yours.
stuff.
You say yours. We'll go around. We'll say ours, and then you
All
can
right,
explain
so
yours first.
I'm gonna go with I think the obvious one, Utah. I think Utah needs to make a move
I wasn't even
like
thinking
right now.
about that.
Rudy Gobert has to go. Frankly, if I'm them, I'm trading both of them away and I'm rebuilding everything, yo, starting from scratch, dog.
You're blowing
I
my
mean,
mind. Jason.
I would say the same thing about the Nets too, but I don't really care about that. But I'm I'm starting out, from the bottom, trying to get a Tyler Hero, some of these cats from Miami, send Donovan over there, trading Rudy for literally a bag of chips because he's a garbage trash bag. But yeah, Utah, I really think they got to restart. Losing Quinn Snyder was a really big loss. I'm being so serious. That's Donovan Mitchell's head coach. Like that was his coach from the beginning, and he's gone. So getting Donovan out of there, I think you'd rather do it now than when it's too late and his trade value goes down. You also don't want him to get hurt to the point where it's just abysmal. It would just be it would be smart for them to trade him away. And Rudy Gobert is an obvious. You got to trade him. He's trash. Just focus on what's coming up next, man. There's a lot of these kids, sixth grade. That might be nice. Like they gotta scrap it. You know, so that's my team. But everybody knows I'm an avid Utah Jazz hater. It's not even that I hate the Jazz. I just hate them. But
You
yeah,
hate Rudy
Sandro,
Gobert.
I do.
But I want to hear
go with a
Joel's take.
passion.
But what team would you say
I was gonna leave it for last. But
desperately need to?
Yeah.
Well, first I'll say I actually really like Rudy. I'm a big Rudy Gobert fan.
Yo,
I like Rudy too. I think
I
he's
am.
great.
I am.
I think he gets
he's
too
great.
much slack for the
I
Jazz not
think
being
he's
able
the
to defend on
greatest
the
center
perimeter.
of all time.
But I think
Come
with
on.
with
he can't guard
Rudy,
Shaq, but I mean, come on.
yeah, he can't. No, he wouldn't be able to. But
Obviously, the man is garbage.
but Rudy is. I think he's a good player. I really do. I think actually I think he's a great player, a great defensive player. I really do. I really do. Like I don't see him. Like I understand when people say, "Oh, offensively, he can't do anything." Yeah, but I mean, he was cooking you guys in USA. You know, it was France versus USA. He was cooking you on offense. So I mean, I don't know. So I mean, the thing with Rudy, I feel like I don't need him to do anything besides what he already does, and I think he's part of I think he can be on a championship team. Like I would put a lot. I mean, if I'm Boston, I would even try to look for Rudy, like because.
But who are you giving up for Rudy?
No, I wouldn't. But I'm just saying, you know, like he would kind of, even if I gave up, and I'm talking about like on 2K, all right? Let's just say 2, because not, like if age is not a factor, I want Rudy instead of Rob. But because there's age and Rob is 25, I think, or 26, you know, I'm going to stick with Rob. But anyway, I'll get back into your question. I just wanted to defend Rudy Gobert real quick. But I think Chicago, because in Chicago, I don't understand what direction they're trying to go in. I feel like the attitude behind a lot of their players are like, okay, so now what? But it shouldn't be so now what. I think that they should try to develop this winning culture again in Chicago. They're in the East, so I don't want them to win or anything. But I think if they get rid of Vooch, and maybe they trade for Rudy Gobert. If they get Rudy,
but who are they giving up besides Vooch? Because obviously,
you give up Vooch, you give up Kobe White.
Yeah, Kobe's not. He's not staying there. You know, they just drafted another guard actually, and I think he's gonna be way better than Kobe right now. So
yeah, you give up Kobe. You can give up Patrick Williams.
No.
Yes, you can give up Patrick easily.
No,
but Patrick is a perfect fit on this team.
No,
even if he doesn't amount to anything, he could be a nice 3-and-D wing
for you.
But before a championship, you have DeRozan, Levine, Ball, Caruso,
Patrick Williams, Caruso off
As
the
a
bench,
forward.
Patrick Williams, and then
Yeah,
Rudy.
Yeah, but is Utah going to be okay with just Kobe White and Vooch? No,
absolutely.
You need to put it. I don't think so.
You can probably throw in another player and some picks, no?
Throw Derrick Jones Jr. up in there or something. I don't know, but ain't no way I'm giving up Patrick Williams with Rudy Gobert.
They kind of need Derrick Jones Jr. to be honest.
No,
I don't. He can jump high, but like whatever.
He's a good backup big for them. If you guys have paid attention this year.
He's 6'7". He's not a big.
Yeah, he's like 6.
Like a small ball big, obviously.
Baboon. No, I disagree. I disagree with Joel. Like, this is I love this because we're disagreeing. Rudy Gobert's trash, and I'm gonna tell you why. He can't play defense, like real perimeter defense. Like he's
a big.
Why are you?
No, wait, hold up. He doesn't need to.
Why are you asking him?
Wait, hold on. Let me make a call real quick to Quinn Snyder. Quinn, why'd you quit? Because Rudy Gobert couldn't play defense on the perimeter, bro. They lost to the Clippers without Kawhi.
But ask yourself, why does he need to play perimeter defense?
Why would he need to play perimeter defense?
Bro, okay, just look at Boston. You as a Boston fan, you are pissing me off right now. Because as a Boston fan, look at the team. How did they play? They played amazing perimeter defense all over the floor, all over the court. And you're saying, I would want Rudy. But that interior presence could play perimeter defense.
Watch this.
Robert Williams isn't a bad on-ball defender on the perimeter. Rudy Gobert is an atrocious on-ball defender when it comes to the perimeter. Isandro, yo, just go back to the Clippers. Terrence Mann, bro. Terrence Mann was cooking him up. And then this playoffs, who did they lose to? I don't even remember because they were so bad. They lost to they lost to Jalen Brunson. Where did he go? He went inside the paint. Took Rudy Gobert inside the paint. Bro, get the hell out of here, bro.
But
Rudy Gobert is the worst center in the NBA right now.
Joel.
the perimeter defense that Utah plays as a team, who do they have?
They got nobody. Jordan Clarkson,
so if
Donovan Mitchell.
every single time somebody decides to drive, which is every play, which was Jalen Brunson had 40, I think, in the paint. I'm exaggerating, but it feels like he had 40 on floaters and getting to the basket, is because he was getting around his man every single play, and Rudy has to guard that every single play while guarding his man, while making sure there's no passes
I'm all for
while
that.
watching all the backdoor cuts.
He's
I'm all
right.
for
You're
that.
wrong, Jason.
I'm all
Joel's spitting.
for that. I'm all for that, but bro, he has to guard his man on the three. Why? Because they don't know how to run a defense, which is crazy to me because they had one of the best defensive head coaches, didn't they? And they could have ran a zone that would have prevented that from happening, but they didn't, and that's on them. But you're telling me that Rudy Gobert on the perimeter, he does not work. He's not good. He is not.
There's a lot of bigs who can't do that, man.
But okay, now I'm gonna be honest. It's the contract. Getting all that money.
He's overpaid. Yeah, you're right.
So that's my point. Like, why would you want to?
I actually don't think he's overpaid. Only because
what?
Because if you put Rudy Gobert, on a team like that, he is so essential to defense as guarding him. Like,
well, overpaid in general, but not by Utah.
If I'm like, I don't know, if I'm Orlando, I'm not going to give him that much money because he's not going to change my franchise. But if I'm a team like Chicago, I may have to do. I mean, not really Chicago because it's a trade. But I'm saying if he's a free agent, and if I'm a team like Chicago, there's a lot of teams that could use that who are at the top already. Like, let's just like Portland. Like Portland, who do they have in the interior? Who do they have? But they have a bunch of guys. They have a bunch of guys on the wing who can kind of move, try to play more defense than at least what he's surrounded with in Utah. So there's a lot of teams that are like that they have the good players around them. They play defense, and they just maybe need a guy like that. Then you give him money.
So would you trade DeAndre? Would you trade DeAndre in for Rudy Gobert?
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
Definitely.
Quickly.
I love that.
Quickly.
I mean, Rudy's better.
I would too. All right. That's
Rudy is who DeAndre Ayton wants to be.
It's maybe who DeAndre Ayton thinks he is on defense.
That's why. Nah, we all know DeAndre he's not a good defender. DeAndre is a good defender. But
it's when he gets a block, he's like, yeah, I'm Rudy. Yeah.
DeAndre,
he wants to be Rudy.
Rudy,
people run away from the paint because they don't want to go into. They don't want.
Not Brunson.
Yeah, but you see what Jalen had to do to score on Rudy. He did like turn around in the paint, but not really in the paint. Turn around jumpers, and it looked really nice. But those were some tough shots.
Not Maxey. Nah, bro. I mean, they went in the paint on him, and he's trash. But anyway, I totally forgot what my original question was, which was about about teams. Oh yeah,
it's just Chicago. Like yeah. So I'm thinking if Chicago kind of makes a trade for a big man like that, get rid of Vooch.
Do you think Levine's staying?
Levine, I hope he does. I hope he does. So.
I want him in San Antonio.
I saw the problem being that he wanted to be the face of the franchise. I mean, Zach LaVine doesn't come off as that guy though.
No,
but he doesn't come off.
They're going to give him the money.
No, but I'm saying he doesn't come off as the guy to complain about that. So I feel like it's a rumor. I don't think it's true. He doesn't come off as the kind of guy that's like, I want to be number one. I want to be like, he just doesn't come off like that. So if his team's having success,
he should be though. I feel like if he does that, his mentality he's gonna be one of the best. But Isandro, you're the last guy here, man. Let us know. What's your team that needs to do something?
Like I said earlier, Philly. I mean, Philly. Yeah. You were the one who was saying it in a couple pods like a couple months ago. Like Philly doesn't have any bench depth. They have no bench.
The Anthony Melton.
The Anthony Melton, yeah. So they got one.
Great.
3 or 4 more to go.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think is going to happen with James Harden's contract?
Oh well, before we talk about that real quick, Matisse Thybulle, man, he might be traded and he might get traded to Portland.
He should be traded to Portland. But for what? Josh Hart?
No, it was like a 3-team deal that they were trying to work out.
Just Simmons can't leave. Simmons and Lillard. You can trade anybody else on that team.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Simons, not
Simons, yeah.
Simons.
But yeah, Thibault might get traded, and if he does, he might open up a roster spot for PG Tucker. Who knows? But yeah, what was your? Oh yeah, James Harden thing. You saw Patrick Beverly, bro, like all over ESPN for like that good
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
What was he
Bro,
saying?
He was saying
yeah,
that
go ahead.
James. He was saying James deserves the supermax because he's a fantastic player, and JJ Redick was like, he's a
JJ went off on
fantastic
it.
player, but he doesn't deserve the supermax.
I love JJ.
JJ is the reason why ESPN is revived.
Yeah.
JJ Redick. Fun fact: he gave him $15.
I saw your tweet.
He gave you $15.
Yeah, well, the old
Wow.
man and the three, his podcast gave him $15.
Oh, his podcast. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Shout out Tommy Alter and JJ. But anyway, yeah, I find it so stupid that Beverly said that. But let's be real. Harden isn't worth that amount of money that people are saying. He's not worth $60 million at 37 years old. Frankly, no one is unless your name is LeBron. Like, no one deserves that amount of money at that age for what he's giving you on the court. He's injured. He's out of shape like every season. At least he has been since his Houston days. And he's not Houston Harden. He's Philly Harden now. He's officially a distributor. Before he was a distributor who can score 40 a night, Now he's a distributor, and he has to be because Embiid is the guy. He's their best player. And it's not a Kobe and Shaq. Not at all. It's more of like
Derek Fisher and Shaq.
Derek Fisher and Pau Gasol. Like, except obviously Embiid is like amazing.
Yeah.
But is he worth money? Yeah, he's worth some money. He's deserved some money because he did a lot for Houston. But the thing is, he's not on Houston. He hasn't done much for Philly because he's only been there for half a year. So does he deserve the max? No, he does not. Do I see him getting at least $30 million a year for the next 4 years? By the time he's 37, absolutely. I can even see him getting
3
40.
years probably.
I can even see him getting $40 million by the time he's 37. But is he worth the big max contract? Absolutely not. Will he stay in Philly? Absolutely he will, because why would he leave? That's the team he wanted to go to in the beginning. Daryl Morey is his guy. I'm assuming D'Antoni's going to be on their bench real soon, whether Doc leaves or not. D'Antoni's going to be there some way, somehow. And then trying to bring in players like PJ, players that he's played with before, it's inevitable. He's going to stay. Are they going to win? I don't know, but he's definitely going to stay. Joel, if you got something to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, if they bring in guys, I mean, Philly could be one of those teams that does make a run. And I think James Harden could be part of that. But yeah, definitely not worth the Supermax anymore. And I feel like watching him, I used to argue and say, like, I thought James Harden was a little bit better than people gave him credit for. And then I see this decline and I'm like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Because it dropped so hard. Like, it went from everything he threw. I mean, he'll throw up anything, as a rocket. And the ball was going in. He had he was getting into it a little bit, in Brooklyn. And then it just, I mean, it's only been, how many years? Like 2 years?
It's only been 2 years, yeah, since he's
2
left.
years? And it just looks so weird to not see James Harden put up 40. It's just weird to me. And I feel like that's why you paid him. You paid him because he sucks on defense. Oh, he doesn't really try that hard. Yeah. But he gives me 45 a night. I mean, I can't really get upset.
It's like 10 assists and 8 rebounds.
Yeah. So I don't think he deserves a max, but like you said, I think maybe 30-ish mil a year. I can see that just happening because he's James Harden.
Yeah, it's the name. And I mean, there was a few good games that they had with Philly, with him and Embiid. It was just, again, it's injuries, but now he's going to have a full off season to worry about it, and hopefully he actually takes advantage of it, but it's hard to lose some weight when you're, 34, 33, it's not the same when you were 23, right?
Not everybody is LeBron James,
who spends millions on his body, but yeah. And if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, maybe the Lakers, shout out Darvin Ham, I know Joel said something before about Russ. You think Russ is still going to be, he's going to come back to be real Russ,
Well, I guess what I felt was I saw him in DC, and you look at his numbers and people always came at him for the numbers, but that team was garbage before he got there. Like, that was a really, really bad team. And he helped these young guys kind of believe in themselves. and then he started playing really well, and then the team, I think they made the playoffs, or at least the play-in, something. I think they made the playoffs and got swept or something like that.
they lost to you, to Boston.
Right.
No, Philly.
No, it wasn't to
Philly.
us. No, it wasn't to us.
Philly.
But they lost, and it's like, but I thought he was garbage. That's what everybody was saying. That Russ was done. Russ, it's over for Russ. But look what he did, and then he goes to LA right after that, and now he can't shoot and all this stuff, and it's like, well, it has to be sometimes in people's careers. Not everybody's LeBron, not everybody's Kevin Durant. They just have a down year.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, yes, Russ's shooting has been bad over the years, and he makes bad decisions sometimes. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's the LA culture, something. I don't understand it. I don't really get where it came from, but I just feel like he's good enough to still be a factor on a team.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's gonna fit really well. And hopefully Darvin Ham uses him in the correct way.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, playing obviously with the starters because he's a starter, but mainly playing with the bench and putting players around them that might work out. And who knows? I mean, maybe another trade is coming, a few signings. I don't know. I don't know what they plan on doing, but there's definitely a lot of options out there, and I hope that they don't re-sign, freaking 38-year-old players for the team, because that was different. And Kendrick Nunn, accepted his qualifying.
He was out the whole year. I don't know what that was.
So he might be he might help out. So we'll see.
Think they're keeping Malik?
No, hell no. Oh man, Malik is gonna go to like Houston. Someone's gonna give him money. Like he's.
You know who I actually said like years ago during a draft? I was like, Stanley Johnson's gonna be that guy. And I was right for about 15 games.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I was right for a few games. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No. I mean, Stanley Johnson. He remember that one summer he was dropping like 60 points in the summer against all the random players. Like
Stanley Johnson, I actually think he's better than his opportunities. I think that they just kind of stopped him when he wasn't playing well. They're like, we'll just give up on him. Yeah, he just gave up. Like, we're already losing. He was in Detroit, so it's like Detroit's like, whatever. We'll just go to another guy.
Yeah.
Right. And then we see him play really well in LA. It's like, what? That was confusing. And then all the guys got healthy, and they're like, go back to the bench.
Right. Yeah.
So I like Stanley Johnson. I'm always gonna be high on Stanley Johnson.
Get him to Boston, man. This is Stanley Johnson.
Stanley Johnson. You know who I think may end up coming to Boston one day? Harry Giles.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
Only because he's good friends with the entire team.
Every time I was there,
I thought, well, yeah, he was there. He was
right. Yeah.
And I follow all the Celtics players, and like whoever is like out doing whatever, he's there. Harry's always there. And I'm like, that'd be kind of nice to have him on the team. Tall guy, can rebound.
Only issue with him is his injuries. His injury is bad.
But I don't even want I don't need him to be a star or anything.
Oh, he's on for the vibes.
Just come in. Yeah, exactly.
For the vibes.
He's playing with his friend. Like, it'd be cool.
Yeah. That's kind of what I wanted in Houston with Paolo and Terry. That I thought that Seattle connection with KPJ. Yeah. But it is what it is. But overall, guys, if there's nothing else we want to talk, because there was a lot. We unpacked a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You saw me really get mad at the fact that these guys really said Rudy Gobert is an amazing player.
We do not stand for Rudy Gobert slander.
They said Rudy Gobert is the greatest
Utah slander, yes.
They said Rudy Gobert is the greatest center of all time, and we all know that's not true. So Shaq, I love you. I hate Rudy. These guys obviously love Rudy, but whatever. But guys, thank you guys for joining. Joel, it was a pleasure having you on, bro.
Yeah,
it was honestly I actually like people that know what they're talking about. So I appreciate that you came through. Isandro,
shots fired.
Yeah. No. We're all Dunces here for a reason. Honorary Dunce here in Joel. But overall, guys, thank you. Please hit that like button down below if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening on Spotify or whatever. Also like it. I think you can. Please like, subscribe, hit the like button down below. Again, you know how we say it twice. And please shout us out to all your friends, families, cats, dogs, sisters, brothers, and grandmothers. And we will be back soon with another pod. I don't know when. Potentially every week. I don't know. Maybe twice a week.
Non-sports.
We'll see. Oh, we got to do non-sports, bro. We will. And I think we'll do that sooner rather than later.
The
But
boy's been waiting for 2 months.
yeah, he'll be fine. But there's a lot more that we'll definitely unpack. Hopefully this video gets views. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, we are out.